start streaming. You're over there.
Already?
Yeah, I told you it was coming, man.
Dang it.
You got a knack for clearing your...
Make me feel like Napoleon Dynamite. Oh.
You always do it right when I hit go live. That's always when you decide to sneeze or sigh or clear your throat.
I'm just trying to
or rip a big one.
get it over with before the show starts, man. Trying to keep it clean for the people.
You need a mute button. All right. I think we're live, Lewis. I think we're live. And we're live. Shout out to Jay Cruz. He wants a very exuberant yeah. There you go, my friend. I don't want to hear nothing about it, Lewis. We got Brian Mulcahy. He says, howdy, guys. They're piling in, Lewis. Oh, look, there's tens of thousands of people here already.
There's plenty of room in this bus. Come on in.
There's definitely more space. There's plenty of space. Plenty of space. There's seats available all over in this Coliseum. We got an exciting show for you all today. Hot off the press. Hot off the press. Just came through on the wire. That's the way Lewis used to communicate in his day. We got...
Oh, man, look at this.
Special report here.
It's my new logo.
Apple logo. Wow. That is an amazing coincidence. Lewis just held up an apple that he bit into, and guess what it looks like? A piece of compost that was thrown into a trash and nothing else. All right. Oh, Lewis. I know why we don't have hundreds of thousands of people here yet. I can't believe that you didn't even ask me about this.
I think it was polite to ask you for the tweet just yet, but
I got it right here. Are you ready for this? Lewis said he accused me of this being clickbaity. And I said, well, how do you think I get him in, Lewis? It's all true, but you gotta emphasize, embellish a little bit. It's not just the iPhone 15 Pro's color. It's the new secret color that's just been unveiled that you must see now. That will change your life forever.
We'll see about that.
Tweeted, Lewis.
It must be some. It's like Twitter's kind of broken or something.
Twitter's better than ever. Better than ever, Lewis.
Is it?
I would argue, yes. It's a new golden age of Twitter.
Nothing I have is working right now, man.
Yeah, well.
Nothing. iPhone keeps screwing up. Apple Watch keeps screwing up. Everything keeps screwing up. There we go. Okay.
Sounds like a personal problem.
Even the ice maker in the refrigerator screwing up.
Did I mess it up? Did I spell that wrong?
What?
Did I make an error, Lewis? Oh, never mind. Chat. Okay, John's saying he made a spelling error. I don't care about your spelling error, John.
We live. We live.
We live. We live.
They Live. One of my favorite movies.
I don't think I've seen that one, Lewis.
You're kidding me.
No, I don't think so.
That's the greatest movie of all time.
Oh, wow. Now, that's high praise. That's quite a claim that you've made there.
Come on, you haven't seen it? Roddy Piper in They Live?
No. Okay, now we got to
cut the podcast. Go watch the movie right now.
All right, we got to go ahead and just we're going to go ahead and wrap it up there. I have to go watch They Live. Thanks for tuning in. Okay, They Live.
Yeah.
It's on chillmovie.com for free.
Sounds good.
Oh boy, look at this key art. Let me hit up browser mode. Look at that key art. That guy's going full gadget hunter right there. I might have a lawsuit in my hands.
What's the key art?
It's just him peering. It's one eye. It's a shot of like half his face, and he's peering above his lowered sunglasses, and in the reflection, there's like a zombie face or something.
That's an alien.
That's an alien? Alien?
Yeah.
That's great key art. Wow.
All I see is Dashlane on the live stream.
It's playing the trailer. Look at this.
What? Oh, so you're not showing the people. You're just keeping all this greatness to yourself?
All you're seeing is Dashlane?
Yeah.
That's, on the live stream?
And it doesn't make all this talk of like zombies and stuff is not very complimentary to the person depicted in the Dashlane photo.
All right, hold on. How about
Get it straight?
I fixed it. It freaked out.
There we go.
Thank you. I'm glad you caught that.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole podcast could have been ruined.
Yeah, that definitely would have ruined the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Is that Kurt Russell that's in it too?
But see,
that's a different movie.
You're watching like Escape from New York.
Yeah, well, it just
Oh, it's just all John Carpenter. Yeah, They Live is what you want to see.
All right. Well, look.
This is going to get everything pulled off the internet because you're using all this.
Well, there's no audio, so I think we're probably okay.
Okay.
All right. Look, Lewis, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah.
Mobile Remix is here. Psyop wants to know when the HomePod review is coming. It is done. It's done. I just gotta. The only thing I have to do is add the finishing touch, the final end sequence, and it's done. I was thinking about releasing it tomorrow morning, but I don't really want to release it on a Friday, and the HomePod is already like 2 or 3 weeks old now, so I don't think there's a rush. So I think Monday morning. I think Monday morning is gonna be the time for the HomePod review on my YouTube channel. Let's go ahead and let's get this thing moving, Lewis. We're dropping viewers precipitously because we're not doing the show.
They all ran off to watch They Live. I don't blame them.
You convinced them to go watch the movie, and now we have no one here left. So let's go ahead and get this thing moving. Let's cue up Mrs. You-Know-Who. Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, Mrs. D. Oh, yes. I also like They Live. Oh, really? Oh, yes. And I also am living with El Caney. Oh, really? You guys moved in together. How does his family feel about that? Oh, they don't mind. They come over and join us occasionally. Oh, it's cool that you guys have such an open and caring relationship. Mrs. D, if you don't mind, I really don't want to hear you talk about LK anymore. I would prefer if we could just get this show moving. I have everything queued up, Lewis, although I don't know how loud the music needs to be because we just changed the track. But
oh, jeez.
That's okay. We'll do it live, Lewis. Let's go ahead and get this thing rolling. In 3, 2. Hello, and welcome to CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I'm your host, Airfun Elijah. Join me today. He's working on training several large angry dogs to recognize typing speeds and to attack if the clicks drop below an acceptable threshold. What a guy. Once trained, we're expecting a 30% increase in Cultimac writing speeds. He's the managing editor of Cultimac. Lewis Wallace is here.
Who needs ChatGPT when you can use angry dogs?
They solve a lot of problems, Lewis. They'd solve a lot of your problems.
Motivational mutts. That's what I like to call them.
TM. Yeah, if you need a motivational mutt, Lewis can probably train him for you and just have him sit there behind your workers. And whenever the conditions become unacceptable, I mean, they start with a low grumbling.
Those little shaky chihuahuas just kind of.
That's the next line.
His lips start quivering.
And they just go straight for your neck, man. Those are even more terrifying than the big dogs, right?
They are, because they're unpredictable.
Because they're totally nuts. Like a big dog, like you can kind of read them, but like one of those little tiny dogs, man, it's like you have no idea what that thing's thinking.
That thing's gonna go off.
Yeah. They've got the worst tempers too. It's like the big dogs, they might get mad, but those little dogs, they go berserk, man. And they're not gonna kill you, but they will maim the hell out of you. You know, like you'll be covered in cuts.
Getting a tetanus shot, a rabies shot.
You'll have months of doctor's visits after that. So that's the thing. The big dogs, you may not survive. You're definitely going to survive the Chihuahua attack. All right, let's see here. We got some stuff hot off the press for all of you. If you're wondering what the next iPhone 15 is going to look like, we've got some CADs to show you. We also know the next color of the iPhone 15 Pro. You know, they have the special color. You only get one. Only one, Lewis. Only one special color. We can't do more than that. That wouldn't be professional.
Tell me it's not mauve or mauve or how you pronounce it.
Honestly, it's not much better, if I'm being honest. When I saw this, I was like, I hope this isn't real. I hope this isn't real. Because we're going from Mom's Minivan Blue to Mom's Minivan Red. This is like the two top colors for minivans in the U.S. And if you don't want that, guess what other colors you get? Space gray, white.
Is it even space gray anymore? Or did they change it to midnight? I can't even keep track anymore.
Yeah,
all these weird names that don't make any sense.
I hope this isn't real, but we'll show it to you, and I think that this is actually real. So let's see here. What else do we have? There's a big story this week. Massive story for Apple Watch. If you haven't heard it, I don't want to spoil it. So we'll tell you a feature that is potentially coming to Apple Watch that really, I think, would be revolutionary. Like it would not only change the nature of wearables forever, but it would change people's ability to manage their own health in such a significant way. It would be one of the most significant product releases Apple has ever made, period. So I hope this ends up coming to fruition. We got some updates a la the Germinator. And that is, of course, if all Apple Watches don't just get banned, which it seems like they're about to. So before we go ahead and dive in, let's give a quick thanks to Dashlane. Lewis, I know that you're a big fan of dashing and you're a big fan of lanes. So when I heard that we were getting them as a sponsor, I was like, this is right up Lewis's alley.
Yeah, I couldn't be more excited. Because if and this is actual fact, if there's one thing everybody with an iPhone, a Mac, and an iPad needs, it's a password manager. That one is there's no way on earth you can keep track of all the long, complex, and unique passwords you use, right? I mean, you use a different password for every single app or website, right?
I do now. So that's not something that I used to do, but I absolutely do that now because they just keep getting leaked, man. I mean, it's not if, it's when your password is going to get leaked. And if you don't use a different password for every website, then eventually you're going to get hacked and you're going to have to deal with all that nonsense. So now I do, but I need to go back and change all my old passwords that are still for sites that I'm not using very often, you know?
Yeah, that's a best practice. I use Dashlane. I've been using it for years now. Keep all my passwords in there on all my devices. I keep credit card info in there, even a bunch of various, personal stuff like frequent flyer numbers, no traveler stuff, everything, right? It's very secure. They've never been breached. As Dashlane says, our zero knowledge patented encryption means not even we can see your passwords.
That's critical, man. You don't want someone to break into the bank and get all your passwords.
Yeah, but it does happen all the time, right? And one of the things about Dashlane, they do have these like security alerts. They'll tell you, hey, this website that you use has been breached, or this has been compromised, or your email address showed up on the dark web. They give you these alerts once in a while, because there's nothing they can do about that, right?
Right.
But the key is having strong and unique passwords for everything. So you end up with 16 character long password, 50 a whole bunch of different symbols, whole bunch of different letters. It's impossible to remember. It's literally impossible unless you're Rain Man. So you use Dashlane, and suddenly you've got this everywhere you go. Copy paste here, there, instantly fill things in using your web browser. It's very, very easy to use. They're top rated, security first. As again, never been breached. Some of these password managers have been breached, and that's a little embarrassing when that happens. Right?
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
That's an oops. This makes online shopping easy. Keeps all basically it's the one thing you need anytime you're doing anything online that is how do I put it, slightly like dangerous, because it's kind of dangerous moving around the web without using secure passwords and without doing all this stuff the right way. And this is a good one. It's even got a built-in VPN. What was I going to say about it? This is kind of deep in the weeds, but do you ever go with your Apple TV and it wants you to sign in with your Apple ID? Have you ever had that happen?
I think so.
And your Apple ID is like 17 characters and it's impossible. And you're sitting there like it takes you like 10 minutes to do it. You could just copy and paste it from Dashlane using the remote on your TV and it boom, right there. So
that's critical. Critical.
Huh?
That's
anywhere
critical.
you want to use your password, Dashlane's there for you. And right now you could try it for free. Well, I think you can always try it for free, to be honest. But try it for free on one device, or you can take 50% off. We love a good discount. Take 50% off, upgrade to a premium plan, lets you have unlimited devices using promo code Cult of Mac 50. That's CULTOFMAC 50. That's probably what like half your passwords looked like before you started using a password manager, right? Like, yeah, my password is Cult of Mac 50.
That is probably Leander's password for everything. Yeah. You just gave it up.
Yeah. All of it. Yeah. So this is a promo code that runs. This is running for a while. This promotion runs through 5/31/23. I believe that is May 31st. So you got some time. I shouldn't even have told people that because I want a sense of urgency. I want people to go right now to Dashlane and check it out. Give it a shot. See if you like it. I mean, like I said, I've been using it for years, and I find it really helped me get my password act together.
Okay, so go to dashlane.com and use code CultOfAct50 for 50% off, and that's for the premium plan. And it expires May 31st. So you got a little bit of time to use it, but you have a discount code there if you want to upgrade to premium and have a really top rate password protection app helping you store your passwords and keep them safe. All right, Lewis, let's move on to this first story here. Let's talk about the leaked iPhone 15 renders that came out this week. Here we go. This is them. So we had Ian Zelbo.
Man, that looks like an iPhone.
That looks exactly like an iPhone, doesn't it? And what you'll notice here is, look at that beautiful island. That's the island I want to be on, the dynamic island. Here at the top. And this is the iPhone 15. So confirmation that we are getting the dynamic island moved to the iPhone 15. So it will be across all the different phones now, which is cool. I'm not living that dynamic island life. I still have the iPhone 13 Pro. And I'm happy with it, although the battery life, is definitely suffering. And I chose to go with the Apple Watch Ultra, which was a great call. So happy with my Apple Watch Ultra, so I'm happy to wait an extra year. Plus, for iPhone 14 Pro, I was like, there's just not much here for me. There weren't any features that were so compelling that I felt the need to get rid of my 13 Pro, especially because I tend to pay cash for phones. So it's like a hassle. I have to buy the new phone and then sell my old phone and try not to get robbed. So, but I really love this new design language. So you can see from these great renders here, and I'll describe this for everyone listening. The design is a lot like the current design, except they have rounded the edges of the outer band around the iPhone, and they've also made it more seamless with the glass. I think the glass actually might be slightly rounded. So this is kind of like a squared off and hybrid. It's like it's a mix between the current design language and then the language of like the iPhone 6, which had the round body. So this is kind of like a mixture between the two. It feels like we're on our way back towards round. Like the next move will just be like
pendulum swings.
Yeah, we're gonna just round out the flat parts too, and then we're just gonna keep bouncing back and forth. So I think that this phone looks really nice. You can also see it has what seems to be capacitive buttons on the side, which would be a major bummer for me. Yes,
Is
go
that
ahead.
true? I thought this one, they said that these are physical buttons in these latest renders. So for the regular,
Maybe that's just for the Pro
phone.
Sorry, yeah, that's right. For the Pro phone, we're expecting capacitive buttons, and for these, we're expecting regular buttons, which I think I prefer regular buttons.
Might be a selling point for you.
Yeah, well, but you're not going to get all the newest hardware inside of an iPhone 15. So that's the reason why for me, I'm like, yeah, I don't think I would ever buy a regular iPhone ever again. I would probably just go with the Pro.
Just because of the chip.
Yeah, man, I don't want last year's technology in my phone, man. Not going to do it. Not going to happen. I'm not going to pay you full price for a phone that has chips from, the previous year. I really am not a fan of that move at all. I preferred the way Apple did it before, where they differentiated the phones in other ways. So adding new compelling features to the Pro that makes you want it, as opposed to nerfing the regular iPhone model to coerce you to go for the higher end model because it doesn't the regular iPhone doesn't have the newest technology inside. And that's not a cool move in my opinion. So I would never buy one, which is what Apple wants. That's exactly what they want. So they played me and I went along. Let's see here. Based on the CAD renders, the iPhone 15 will have a slightly bigger 6.2-inch display versus the iPhone 14's 6.1-inch panel, so only slightly bigger. It looks like there is a slightly bigger camera bump on the back.
Ugh.
So the thing just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger.
Soon it's going to be hammer-sized.
Soon it's just going to be a camera bump with a tiny iPhone mounted on the other side. And that's going to be what it looks like. So there is your first look at the iPhone 15. Now, I know that's not what you all care about because none of you are buying the regular iPhone 15. You want to know about the iPhone 15 Pro. And what is that big, beautiful color that we're expecting? Well, here you go. Here's a render from Ian Zelbo. It looks like he's basing this off a tip that 9to5Mac got. What would you call this color? What would you call that color, Lewis?
I don't know. Looks, it's not really pink, But
Yeah.
it's also not really red. It's mink,
I would call it metallic salmon.
metallic salmon. Ah,
Isn't that what it looks like? It looks like metallic salmon. And if that's what this is going to be,
oh,
then
God.
I'm going to go ahead and pack up my bags, and you'll see me on the Steve Ballmer cast. I'm not doing the show anymore.
Surely they wouldn't do that. I mean, they've been making the Project Red ones for a while. They wouldn't have one that's red that's not red, would they?
So officially, let's see here. Do we have a link to the actual Cult of or 9 to 5 Mac story? It pains me to go here. Let's see here. So here we go. Exclusive first look at the special edition color for the iPhone 15 Pro. So here's the actual color tone. This is the color Apple is reportedly using. So you could see when you just see the color, it's like a very, very dark red, dare I say, maroon color.
Ugh.
But in the render, I think when you hit it with light, it looks different,
Yeah,
which-
like all their special things, and they do tend to look better in the light. But geez, come on, man! If you're gonna make a red phone, make it red. Make it Sammy Hagar red, not this like.
That's actually what they should call it too.
What is
That's
this?
dude. That's the collaboration right there. They need the David Lee Roth red, and they need to do something more exciting. I'm so tired of this, man. I really am just so tired of having one additional color choice in the Pro line. This is so stupid. Give us 3 colors. Do something. And then so every year I end up with space gray. I'm so tired. I'm so bored of space gray. I'm so bored of the normal colors. And then you come along and you give me this, and when you look at the actual color itself, it looks like Mom's minivan red. This is exactly the color that you see on the Toyota Sierra minivan. And
It'd
then
be,
you
it'd be
see
called
it.
like Chaparral or something.
I don't care what.
Adobe.
Yeah, I don't care what they call it. It's gonna look like this metallic salmon color, and I'm just not a fan, man. But
Yeah,
don't you put it in a case? No, man, I don't put it in a case. I put it in a bumper case. And I guess if you just put your phone in a case, it doesn't matter what color you get because you never get to see it. But here, I've showed this before. I'll show this again. So here's my iPhone, space gray. Let me see if I can get that to focus. Oh no, it looks my face. So I have a bumper case on it. This is the Rhino Shield Crash Guard, probably my favorite case. And you can see I still get to see my phone. That's why I use this case, because I want to see what the industrial design team came up with, man. I don't want to just block it all out with like some cheap Chinese plastic case. I want to actually see the beauty of the phone. So I actually care about the color, and this red is dead. Boom. What do you think, Lewis?
It is not a good red, man. If it comes out like that, I'll be going basic black or whatever they call it this year.
Yeah.
Space gray, midnight.
That's their
off.
strategy. They keep the exact same color, but they just change the name, so you think it's new. So it feels new. It's like it's not going to be space gray. It's going to be cosmic medium or something, and or cosmic gray.
They
But
can't say galaxy.
They definitely can't use that word. So I don't know. Let's see here. Someone made a comment here that I wanted to. Oh, iCave Dave. It's very close to the color. It's very close in color to the Pantone color of the year. Well, I've learned 2 things now. Pantone has a color of the year, and apparently this color red it's like a very dark, almost like a brownish red.
What is the Pantone color of the year?
Well, Pantone, like they make.
Yeah,
all
I
those...
know what Pantone is, but what is the Pantone color of the year, and why would it be that?
Okay, Pantone. Let's look up Pantone color of the year. I guess they just pick a color and they're like, this is our favorite color of the whole year.
Viva Magenta.
Let's see. This is 2022. Accept all cookies. Oh, this is 2022. Oh, so the Pantone color of the year last year was a very Perry. That is very ugly, if you ask me. That's like a weird child's toy purple.
That's kind of the color of the phone. Is this the secret? Has he unlocked the secret to how they pick their colors?
This is the cheat code. They just go to the Pantone site and they pick it from here. Do we
21.
have a? That's 2022.
2021.
Do we have
was,
a 2023 Pantone
yellow
color
and
year?
gray? No, ultimate gray and illuminating. Oh
I
my
don't
God.
see it here. Oh wait, what's this? Viva Magenta? No, wait, is that it?
Yeah, that's
That's it. We found it. We cracked the code. Viva
No, see,
Magenta by
that's way too bright for Apple.
yeah.
I
So
hate to say it.
the color that Apple's going with is definitely darker than this, but it's in the same. It's in the same chart.
That's like T-Mobile color there.
T-Mobile red. So I don't know, man. I have a feeling that this is probably gonna be the color that we see, and I'm not a huge fan. In which case, I'll probably just go silver again, silver and white. But I'm so tired of this, dude. I'm just really. We need better colors. We just need better colors. Like the Pro line should have some panache. We need to make it sexy. You know what I'm saying, Lewis?
Have some punch.
It needs to have a little bit of punch, and I think David Lee Roth yellow is what we need. It just looks like the thong that he wears on stage. It's on the outside of his of his spandex pants, of course. All right, well,
yeah, I'm with you, man. I've been yelling about this as loud as I can for as long as I can remember. I'm just tired of the week. Just they're just dull. I don't know. I mean, it's just so staid.
Yeah, I'm sick of it. I'm done with it. I'm telling you guys, if they do this, I'm done. Packing up my bags, and I'm starting the Bomber cast.
I can't believe they would put out a red that wasn't actually like, really good red.
Can't you, Lewis?
No, I can't. They can't call it red, can they? Would they be that stupid?
Yeah, I don't know what they're gonna call it, but if it's this color, I'm not gonna be happy. Let's see here. Okay, Lewis, before we move on, I wanted to mention just real quick, and by me, I mean you, Lewis, that we should have a bountiful supply of iPhone 15 and iPhone 15 Pros in 2023, Lewis.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be having the supply problems. Do you want to tell the good people why?
No, I see what you're doing. You're trying to do a little transition to this next story. TSMC's entire 3-nanometer chip output goes to Apple.
They're buying it out. They're buying the whole thing.
It's Tim Cook special, man. He went in and he cornered the market on the 3-nanometer chips coming up this year. These are supposedly like the A17 and the M3 chips.
It's both. I actually didn't catch that part.
I believe so, yes.
So we should have plenty of Macs and iPads too.
Yes. So, as everybody knows, Apple designs their processors, but TSMC makes them. And they're supposed to actually, I believe they're supposed to go to 3-nanometer this year, but it didn't work out. It took them an extra year. So these latest ones are like some, extra good 5-nanometer. I can't remember. They had some term for it. It just escapes me right now. But, and these chips are totally fine. But these 3-nanometer chips supposedly much better because they just pack that much more stuff.
They can pack more on, man. It's almost double
crazy.
the transistors if you think about it. You're going from 5 to 3.
It's kind of
It doesn't
crazy.
quite work out that way, but you get to pack on more power.
Yeah, so should be coming in the iPhone 15 Pro and Pro Max.
Don't forget about Ultra.
Not the regular. Right. And the God knows what Max, maybe the upgraded 24-inch iMac that we're expecting. That could all happen this year. So very exciting. It's good to hear Apple going in and just doing what it can to secure the chips it needs, so people aren't sitting around going, well, I want to order a phone, but it's going to take 3 months to get here.
Yeah, that's not a good move. It's not a good look either. And these are the chips that we've been waiting for. Like, they're going to mean a lot more performance, and they're not going to have to run the chips as hot, which is what they had to do this year to make the 5-nanometer process continue working. You know what my question is, Lewis? Is
what color is the chip? What?
Well, it kind of looks like it has some of the Mom's Minivan red in here. If you look at this chip design right here,
no.
You can see it's got a little bit of green though too. So, but what happens after the nanometer? We're almost done with nanometers. Where else can they go? Now, I did some research on this.
Oh no!
I heard, or from the research I did, which was extensive, of course, the next size down is the picometer. And I think 1 picometer is 1/10 of the size of a nanometer, if I understand correctly. Because we're almost out of nanometers, man. Like, how much smaller can you get? We're down to 3 nanometers. Next year next year will probably still be 3, and then after that, maybe 1 nanometer. But then after that, where do we go?
How do they do this? I mean, it's just mind blowing. I can't even begin to imagine this. You're talking about such a small thing, and for it to get just ever smaller, it just seems like wizardry.
I know it seems like they should hit a wall at some point, and they're like, "That's it. That's as small as we can make it," and that probably will happen at some point. But I think picometer will be next, and then I think it's ant manometer. That will be the
What?
next ant manometer.
Oh, I see.
Got it? Get it?
Got it. Going quantum.
They're gonna have to go They're gonna have to go quantum at a certain point, and then at a certain point, they'll just be done, and that will be the end of it. But I am curious to see where they go next, and what a baller move for TC to lock down TSMC's entire 3-nanometer chip output for the whole year, because they do chips for everybody. They're making chips for everybody. They are opening that plant in Arizona, though, aren't they? I think TSMC is opening up a chip fabricating plant in Arizona as well.
Yeah, see, that was in the headlines a couple weeks ago, right? And it
Yeah.
said, I think it said that it would. I remember Samsung was mentioned. I can't remember who else, but so I don't know. I don't know if that's 3-nanometer there. I can't keep supply chain stuff. It's so kind of esoteric. I don't know. I mean, I'm glad there are people who keep their fingers on it, but I don't know. My eyes start to glaze over after I hear like what factory does what, how many nanometer, what process, and oh my god.
It is cool though that they're going to be made in the U.S.
Yeah,
Like,
well, that's
just
awesome.
that's pretty cool. Like, just to bring that kind of technology back to the U.S. and have stuff be made here, like that cutting edge is pretty exciting.
Yeah, well, I think everybody got a little bit freaked out during COVID.
Yes,
Suddenly you couldn't get a car
Dude,
part.
that was crazy. I mean, and we're not even done with that yet. Like, the supply chains are still so messed up, and to see how fragile the whole thing was just surprising to see. It's like, oh, one little break and all of a sudden we just can't buy cars anymore. It's like,
Yeah,
you can't buy GPUs anymore. Like, all these products that just dry up and you can't get them. So it seems like there needs to be some diversification in the supply chain. Like, let's move some stuff around, and make sure we have multiple sources for stuff. Lewis, I think we should go ahead and just talk about the giveaway real fast, because this is a good one. And
yeah, it's a hangover from last week.
And we've got some really nice pictures here, too, because the giveaway is actually up now, isn't it?
Yeah, you like the way I put those pictures in there? It really gives you a good view of how this thing works. It's a sturdy folding iPad stand, and this thing can rotate 360 degrees. It's made by Lulu Look. If you look at it, it's pretty cool. It's made out of aluminum. It looks like a music stand or something, but you can adjust the way that your iPad sits all these different ways. It looks great. I think that thing looks
it looks nice.
really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Good design. It comes in space gray, your favorite, and silver.
Oh, good. Space gray. Don't get me wrong. I like space gray, Lewis. I like space
You're
gray.
just tired of it.
I just want another option, man.
Everybody
on my phone.
wants- Yeah, so these things, this now, like you said, we mentioned this giveaway last week. The giveaway post itself wasn't up. It is there now on the homepage, cultmac.com. Just scroll down to the giveaway area, click on in there. Just a whole bunch of ways you can enter. This is a stand that retails for $39.99. We teamed up with Lulu Look. We're giving away, I believe, 5 of these things.
Nice.
So go there and get your name in the hat.
And you know what? I know what you're thinking. You're like, I never enter anything because I never win, but I would enter if you're interested in this beautiful little stand, because I'm just telling you right now, you got a chance. You got a chance to win. The problem is everyone thinks they can't win. So then people are like, I'm not going to try. But then you enter and it's like, oh, shoot. Like, I might have actually got one there. Did I ever tell you the story about the radio station in my local area that was giving away concert tickets and my friend kept winning them?
I don't know if you told me that or if I had the identical friend who did the exact same thing.
Well, it's funny because my local radio station was giving away these tickets to these concerts. And my friend entered, and then he won. And he was like, oh, shoot, that's cool. And then he decided to enter again at a future date, and he won again. And what he realized is, like, no one was actually ever entering to win. So he just kept entering over and over and over again, and then he just kept winning because he was one of the few people that ever would enter for it. And eventually they cut him off. They just told him they weren't going to give him any more free tickets. So he's like, you should try it and see what happens. So I entered, and guess what happened?
Let me guess.
I get an email like, I don't know, a week later. Congratulations, you've won
2 tickets to
2 tickets.
Ozfest.
Yeah. Yep, I partied hard. I like to mosh.
I did the same thing, man. There was a radio station in San Francisco used to give away all kinds of stuff. I would fairly consistently win. It was like, damn, man, nobody that listens to this station is online or something. But I kind of. Then they started moving to you got to listen and call in, and I never did that. But the friend that
you're gonna make me listen?
I had a friend in high school, a good friend, and he ended up working like an overnight shift somewhere, right? And so I think he was like a IT guy, and he's just listening to the radio all night long, right? And it's 2:30 in the morning. They're giving away Rush tickets. He's like, I'll call. He won just tickets after tickets after tickets.
That's wild. Who listens to the radio anymore? Is that even still a thing? Like, do people even still listen to the radio? I mean, I guess so.
I accidentally had it on in my truck yesterday, just only because CarPlay wouldn't work. I mentioned earlier that nothing I have is working. Nothing's working. I plug the phone in, it's charging. It doesn't show up in the dang CarPlay thing anyway. But yeah, I hit a button on there and it turned on the tuner. I'm like, what is that? It's a radio station.
And it's just commercials, right? The whole thing is just commercials now.
Well, I turned it off immediately. I just listened riding down the road with my iPhone as loud as it would go. Just so stupid.
That same thing is happening to me right now. I just feel like everything is breaking. Like everything I own just seems to be breaking, and it's one thing after another. Like just the other day, I realized that my Apple TV is no longer turning on my television when I turn on my Apple TV. It used to work, and suddenly it's just not working. And I have no idea why. Like I didn't change anything. And it turns off my TV when I turn the Apple TV off. It does turn my TV off. So, and the volume works and everything, but it just won't turn it on. So every time I get up, I grab my Apple TV remote and I sit down, and then I realize, oh shoot, I have to also go get my TV remote, and then press the power button on that. And it's a small little thing.
I know,
but it's just eating away at me. Like I really hate that I have to press 2 buttons because I had everything working precisely. And now all of a sudden it's just quit. And it's just this kind of stuff, one thing after another. Yeah. Now my bathtub's not draining properly now. So I got to figure that out.
That's probably not a software problem. Most of these, it just seems like my Apple Watch and my iPhone, everything lately has just been having these weird little glitches. I don't know if it's the software is like something's wrong with it. I don't know if I don't know. The other day, my watch, so I got one watch I wear and one watch I charge, at all times, right? And like when I'm asleep, right?
Really?
I'm wearing
you have
one
two
watch.
watches and you just cycle back and forth?
Yeah. Yeah, because I don't have an Ultra with 2-day thing.
So why don't you just sell both watches and buy an Ultra?
Why?
Well, I don't know. Like it just seems a little superfluous to have an extra
really?
Apple.
Is
yes.
It weird?
You hate being without your Apple Watch so much that you have to have 2, and you have to have one at the ready at all times.
Yeah, that's my plan.
I mean, it just kind of seems a little psychotic. That's all I'm saying.
If I could sell the one for more than like $12, I would sell it, but probably can't. So, yeah, anyway. But so my alarm goes off, right?
Yeah, and you're not sure which
my
watch
wrist
it is.
and my little do weird little thing. Well, but it also goes off on the other watch, right? And so you won't believe this, but some mornings when my alarm goes off, I'm really tired and I don't have my glasses on because I don't sleep with my glasses on, so I can barely see. I grab the thing, and you know how they make the snooze button's giant and the cancel button's really small. I'm trying to cancel it, and I don't know what I pressed, but it would not stop going off. I couldn't. There's nothing I could do to make it stop going off, which was just really a welcome introduction to the day.
Yeah, and, so you were wide awake by that point.
And my wife is starting
so enraged.
What's wrong with you? Why are you? I've now woken her up, and I'm just.
And she's disappointed in you as a man that you can't figure this out.
Beside myself. I ended up. I just was like, I got to reboot this thing or something. And I finally, after I held the both buttons in for like what seemed like a half an hour, it finally stopped. But it's like
you mean when the alarm just finished? Because like the alarm.
No, it never stopped. I finally rebooted the watch. That was the only thing I could think to do. There was.
So it sounded like the watch just froze or something, like it freaked out.
Yeah, I had another thing. Now tell me if this is I don't know. This is pretty tangent-y, but I noticed that my watch. This was after that, right? I noticed that my watch just started going whoop, like it'd make this little chirp, and I was like, did I hear something? And the first few times it happened, I thought I was losing my mind. But like, no, my watch is making a noise. I thought, well, maybe it's, like I wear the watch into the shower, right? So I turn on the water thing, whatever it's called, water mode. I can't remember. And when you turn that off, it makes a little like wah, 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 wah noise. You've heard that noise, right? You hear the little noises it ejects the water, which is actually very cool and calming. So I thought maybe it was just that. Maybe something's going on. Maybe it had like a bubble in there or something. I finally, I think I went online and found this out. There's some kind of assistive technology to where the thing will chirp. And I guess it was chirping every hour on the hour. I don't know how that got turned on, but that was I dug into the settings and it was turned on. So that's what it was. I wasn't, you won't believe this, but I wasn't losing my mind.
Well, two things can be true at the same time, Lewis. It's funny that you should say it. You mean you do own two Apple Watches. You've already proved that you're slightly psychotic. So I had the same thing just happen recently. Like I would have a beeping alarm just start going off in the Cult Command Center, and I could not tell where it was coming from because it wouldn't last long enough for me to actually locate where the sound was coming from. I'd be sitting here, and then all of a sudden it'd be like beep 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 beep, like a watch alarm going off, and so I'm like, turning my head all around, trying to attenuate the signal, trying to figure out where it's coming from. It's been going on for days. And finally, yesterday, it's going off, and I'm closing in on it, right? Like I get my head, and I'm like, I think it might be like this laptop PC that I have on my desk because it sounds like it's coming from it. So I put my ear up to it. And I'm like, no, it's close to it. And what I realized is it's actually coming from my desk. Like I have a standing desk that I just built, and I assembled the thing myself. And it has a controller that lets you take the desk up and down. And it was coming from the controller, which is like near the laptop, but underneath the desk. And I look at the controller, and it's got a countdown timer.
What?
Yeah. So it has the alarm's going off. It says 0, and then it goes and switches to 45. And then it has like a blinking icon that just keeps blinking. And then after a while, it changes to 44. After a while, it changes to 43, and I was like, dude, there's a timer going off on my desk. I don't know why. I have no idea why. I've never seen this before in my life. And when it starts getting closer to like 2-3 minutes, I actually started to get a little nervous. I'm like, what is this thing counting down to?
Blow.
That's what I thought. I'm like, is this thing going to blow? And I know there's no way that can be true. But why is my desk counting down? And sure enough, it gets to 0. The alarm goes off again. So now at least I know what's going on or what's making the beeping noise. So it sends me down a rabbit hole of research, right? Like I'm trying to figure out why my desk is beeping, what this countdown timer is all about.
It's got to be ergonomics.
And why it's not even on. And so I stumbled across the manual for a similar desk online, and it is a stand-up timer that you can activate. So I must have accidentally... So I built this 98-inch desk. It's mega desk, man. I should show you guys this thing sometime. It's beautiful. I built it myself, and it fits all of my streaming equipment plus my Apple Studio display is like right to my left over here, and I can connect my Mac to it. So I just have everything in one solid desk. I can just move my chair back and forth depending on which battle station I need to be at, right? And so I put the controller in the middle of the desk so I could reach it from whichever side I'm sitting on. But the problem is I end up sitting in the middle of it most of the time. And so the handles on my chair must have accidentally pressed the controller and held down this button that activated the timer mode. And so it just turns on, and I had no idea what it was. And I had anxiety yesterday when it was about to go off because I was like, I started imagining this thing, blowing. Like maybe there's a problem with it, and it's trying to warn me, and it's going to blow. And guess what's right next to it? Nothing that I want injured with fire. I'll tell you that much. Or shrapnel. Oh, boy. Where are we at, Lewis? Oh, that's right.
I think we're fully done with the giveaway.
Yeah, we are. And we got 15 minutes left.
Uh-oh.
So we got to cruise through this story quick and wrap it up because you got to be out of here, right?
Yeah, I need to make a trip.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
hold on, wait, one sec. One final comment. Yeah,
well,
people are commenting about the Mega Desk. I got to make a video about this thing, man. Like this
gotta
98
do a
inches.
setups post about it.
You know what, Lewis? You mentioned that before. I think that's a great idea, actually. I think I might do that. I just have to work on the cable management because right now I have everything just sitting under the desk, and it's an awful, chaotic mess.
So is mine.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount. I ordered some cable compartments that I'm gonna mount to the back of the desk, so everything will be either in those, and I'm going to mount a power strip to the bottom of the desk, so I can plug everything in and just have like one cable that goes down to the floor, which I've never done before, but I think this is gonna work out pretty well. And then we'll do a setups because
get it straightened away.
This is a crazy setup I've got going on here, man. Like with all this stuff to do all this stuff that I'm doing. Anyway, sorry. Let's talk about Apple's secret Apple Watch mission, which I thought was really exciting.
Yeah, this is a big story from our old buddy Mark Gurman.
One of my best friends, actually.
And
he asked
this
me to be
is
the best
actually
man in his wedding. Did you know that?
This was a what?
He asked me to be the best man in his wedding. We were best friends.
Is that right?
Yeah. I told him I'd think about it.
It seems unlikely.
No. What are you implying? I
Uh,
don't appreciate what you're implying.
is he getting married?
I don't think so. But he was just preparing. He's like, in the case I get married, I want you to be there.
That I could actually believe.
Well, his first idea was like, I want you to give me away to the bride. And I'm like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that. Like, maybe have like one of your parents do it. Like, we're just, Apple journalist chums. Like, yeah, we both have incredible sources. Yeah, we were both highly paid. Like, we have those things in common. So if you want me to be there, like, I'll happy to be amongst the groomsmen, but we could talk about this later. Anyway, let's talk about the Apple Watch.
Yeah, so Gurman had this big story this week, and it's about how he's talking about Apple's over a decade-long quest to make a glucose monitor that can eventually go into the Apple Watch, a blood glucose monitor, I should say. Secret project dates back to Steve Jobs' era. Is 12 years, I guess. The secret effort, known as E5.
It's a good enough name.
That's a little odd name. Anyway, so we've been talking about this possibly happening for a long time, right? In fact, some people thought it was going to happen like last year or this year, and apparently it's still a long way from happening. In fact, the company that it seemed like was going to be providing the technology for this, if you remember, I think it was called Rockley or something like that. They they went bankrupt, I guess, last year or something.
Oh, they did.
That's what I remember reading. I don't see it here in the show notes, but when in the story is talking about it, and I think it was Rockley Photonics might have been the name for it. Anyway,
I cannot believe you remembered that. I am so impressed.
I don't even know if that's right. Now
I think that does sound right. It was
I'm
something
so far
like
off
that.
in the weeds already. Anyway, so we thought this was happening, and this would be such a great feature if it actually happened. If you could have on your watch a glucose meter, and like, okay, yeah, great for diabetics, of course. Like, you don't have to keep sticking your finger multiple times a day. But as Leander was talking about in yesterday's newsletter, also great for everybody who eats, right? So now you see in real time what happens after you eat a sugary yogurt or a, God forbid, milkshake or a beer. You see how your blood sugar spikes after you eat these things, and maybe it could give you insight into how your body processes things, how you react to like white rice or something. It could be another one of these like always tracking kind of things that could help you get a handle on your health and make better decisions so you live a better life. That's the whole dream of this thing, right? So anyway, this report says they've been working on it, and it even says that they have this exploratory design group, XDG, employing hundreds of engineers that's been working on this for a long time. It's like about as secretive or maybe even more secretive than the car project, right? It says they've hit major milestones recently, and quote, the company now believes it could eventually bring glucose monitoring to the market. Could actually happen.
So they reached a stage where they believe that this is actually possible. Because I was reading that other companies have tried this, like Google was trying this, and they eventually gave up on it because they couldn't make it work.
Yeah, and so they say now it's considered to be in the proof of concept stage. I don't know exactly what that means as far as, what that means to an engineer. But
I mean, I think that means that, hey, this works. Like, this actually is something that works, and it's worth pursuing further because it's working in its current form. And it seemed to me like from the story is they have it working, but they don't have it at the size that they want it to be. So
Right.
you have to
That was
strap
my
this.
favorite detail.
Yeah,
About
go
the story.
ahead. Sorry, I'm taking the whole story from you. I'm gonna stop.
Yeah. So we said they wanted to make it the watch, right? But so now they need to reduce it in size because just a little while ago it was a tabletop device, and now they're working on an iPhone size prototype that you strap to your bicep. So little ways to go.
I mean, that
to
would never
shrinking it
work for
down
me.
to,
I mean, they don't make straps that big.
yeah. So I've seen some people say, oh, like it's right around the corner. I believe the actual wording of Gurman's story was still years away. This ain't coming in Apple Watch 9 or 10.
Yeah,
So,
but the fact that they have it working at all is exciting.
no, it is exciting.
And like even if they're only like 3 or 4 years away from it, I mean the quality of life improvements for people that need this kind of technology. I honestly like when we heard these stories, I was like, "There's no way." And I told I told one of my friends about this, who has diabetes, and he was like, "Dude," he's like, "I have a machine that I bought that cost me like $5,000 that does this. And you're telling me they're all of a sudden going to just put this into the Apple Watch? Like, no way." But it seems like it could actually happen. And if it did, having this kind of technology available to someone, I don't know if they would still charge the same price for the Apple Watch. I imagine that they would, but they would just sell huge volumes of Apple Watches to everyone who wants to monitor their blood glucose.
Oh yeah, I mean, I have a friend with diabetes, and he has like I mean, I swear to God, it's like almost like a Borg type thing. It's attached to his belly. He has to change it every couple of weeks, and every one of these things costs like I don't remember how much the price is, but they're not cheap.
Yeah,
and you have to like he's always like trying to change it, and like something goes haywire, and like the needle doesn't exactly go in, so he has to burn what get rid of that one and start a new one, and it sends alerts to his phone, and it allows him to adjust his insulin sort of in real time. Eat a piece of cake. 20 minutes later, oh, the thing's beeping, and send some insulin.
What's that alarm that's going off?
It's that's all automated. I mean, that's not what this would be, but it's a similar type thing. Keeping tabs on your blood sugar at all times. And if they could do it in a non-invasive way, yeah, it's a total game changer. And not just for people with diabetes, it's for people who are pre-diabetic and for people, just anybody really who wants to know a little bit more about how food affects their system.
Yeah, we got Level Remix in the chat saying this technology is definitely going to be Nobel Prize winning. I actually honestly think that could be true. Like it is that huge of a development. It would be such a radical change in life quality for so many people that I actually honestly think that could be true. And it would also fall in line with the sentiment that Tim Cook has expressed before, where he said that he thinks Apple's greatest contributions will be towards health. That's definitely not been true so far. I mean, monitoring your steps isn't exactly game-changing, but something like this would be.
A lot of things, there's a lot of things that have saved lives. I mean, the crash detection stuff also saved people from roller coasters. But a lot of things are good. Every week there's another story of somebody who had a heart problem detected by an Apple Watch, and it's because it's becoming a ubiquitous product, and the more people have it on all the time, the more little things like this is going to uncover. So I hope that they can make it happen before too long. I mean, it just sounds. Some of the headlines I saw spinning out of Gurman's report sounded a little overly optimistic. Maybe, who knows? Maybe Apple can do that. Maybe that's not a big deal to them, turning something the size of a iPhone into something that'll fit in an Apple Watch. Maybe it's not.
Well,
maybe
Gurman is
Apple Watch
nothing.
Ultra.
Yeah,
Ultra
which will be ultra expensive. About the optimism, Gurman is nothing if not chipperly optimistic. oozing optimism.
Right. I'm talking about people who, are re-reporting his story, right?
Oh, I got
I
you.
mean,
Yeah,
like the
yeah.
headlines just say like, "Oh, it's right around the corner." Yeah. 10 years, who knows?
Nah, hopefully not that long.
I hope not.
I mean,
I
if the
hope not.
technology's working now, they just have to shrink it. And how long does that take? How long does some good shrinkage take? 3 years, maybe?
That's what I again, I don't
Couple
have
years?
any idea how you've got this proof of concept thing that sits on a tabletop, and now you're gonna make it small enough to fit an apple. I mean, maybe no problem. I hope that is true. I hope those optimistic headlines are correct, and it's just a couple of years away.
Well, look, Lewis, it's not going to matter because no one's going to be buying the Apple Watch anyway. They're going to be
Oh, right.
banned from the U.S. here next week. Final story of the day: Apple Watch might be banned from U.S. import. That's right. So, a decision by the U.S. International Trade Commission to block Apple Watch imports reportedly received a go-ahead from the Biden administration this week. That would be a devastating decision, except that the ITC's ruling is based on Apple Watch violating patents owned by AliveCore, and the U.S. Patent Office has ruled that those patents are invalid. AliveCore is appealing, though. Starting with the Apple Watch Series 4, the Apple Watch can take electrocardiograms to see whether the user's heart rhythm shows signs of, I'm just going to say signs of issues. AliveCore sued Apple over the issue, claiming the tech giant infringed on its patents when developing the heart health functionality for Apple. I'm suspicious of claims like these, I have to admit. It's like, oh, you're doing something that we said that we do. You must be doing it the exact way we're doing it. You owe us money for every single Apple Watch you make. In 2022, a judge from the ITC, the International Trade Commission, supported the claims in an initial ruling, and then the full ITC agreed in December. And then the full ITC agreed in December. Agreed to what? To ban the Apple Watch. The Biden administration has the option to overrule the ITC, but chose not to, according to Reuters. But that's not the end of the story. Also in December 2022, the U.S. Patent and Trade Office's Patent Trial and Appeal Board ruled that the AliveCore patents at the heart, see what they did there? Of the dispute are invalid because they are unpatentable. AKA, you can't just patent the question mark. It already exists. AliveCore is appealing, and the ITC put its ban on the U.S. import of Apple Watch on hold pending the appeal. Now, Lewis, always the pessimist, believes that all of this is just a tactic to extract money from Apple in the form of royalties. Isn't that what you said, Lewis?
Well, I didn't say. I'd have to give credit to our writer, Ed, who Ed came up with that first post.
Okay.
He's like, this is really, you see this kind of thing all the time. This is really just a negotiating tactic because, AliveCore wants Apple, like you're saying, to give them 10 cents for every Apple Watch that they've sold or whatever. And Apple says, no, we're not licensing this technology from you. And they're saying, oh, well, we want this and that. So giant negotiation. I mean, who knows if they'll actually win? I was a little skeptical of this story in the first place because, it's basically coming from AliveCore. I mean, they're kind of
the source of all this.
Yeah. I mean,
somewhat biased. Maybe a little bit.
The U.S. Trade Representative said that, right? So the Biden administration will not overrule the International Trade Commission decision that could block imports. So, okay, it's I guess it's news. It's kind of just it's still in progress, right? I mean, it's a little bit. Our headline was a little clickbaity. I'm ashamed to say.
How dare you?
But it's an interesting thing. I mean, it's definitely. The good thing is that this company is not a patent troll. It's an actual company that makes actual products. So it doesn't seem as seedy as some of these other things where people are trying to sue Apple and get money. They do make actual good products. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a patent lawyer. What does unpatentable mean?
I think it means that the thing that you're trying to patent is so general and so unspecific as to not actually be something that you can claim to be uniquely yours. I'm no lawyer, but...
Well, I haven't looked into these patents that they claim have been infringed upon, but...
You haven't looked into the
Have
patents?
you? Have you read them? Have you looked at all the diagrams?
I've pored over them. I have a magnifying glass that I use that makes my eyeball really big when I'm looking at stuff, right? And I just pore over all the diagrams.
Better have a coffee injector, too.
Hey, you know what? Before we move on here, Lewis, before we wrap it up, I just want to say a very special welcome to the chat and specifically user Howard Davidson. Howard, do me a favor. Do me a favor, okay? I want you to bend over, put your hands on your thighs, and get ready for this big size 12 steel toe boot going right in your keister. Boom! He's out of here.
What the?
Oh, man. That felt good. Let's get this guy
too
out of
much
here.
pleasure out of that.
He's just trolling the chat, man. I've been watching him go, and he had the audacity to call the two of us amateurs. Can you believe that, Lewis?
Amateurs.
I mean, now look, that might be actually true, but I don't like the way you said it. And so, boom, you're out of here. And luckily for you, that's all the CultCast we actually have. We're all done. So amateur hour is over, literally. But you know what? If you want some more amateur hour, we're both on Twitter. I'm at Airfon, ERFON. Lewis is at Lewis Wallace. This has been the CultCast, the best 30-plus minute Apple conversation you're going to hear all week long. I want to thank everyone for listening and for hanging out live. We appreciate all of you. And we'll see you guys next time. Oh, man, that was about as cathartic as it gets, Lewis.
Was it Tim Cook?
I can't hear a word you just said. What was that?
You think it was Tim Cook using a nom to chat?
Yeah. How dare you come into my chat? Tell me that I'm not doing a good job in my chat? Where's the moderator at?
You talking to me? You talking to me?
I'm looking around. I don't see anyone else here. We gotta get some new moderators in here so that this kind of riffraff can't come in. Guarantee you this guy either works at The Verge or loves reading 9 to 5 Mac. Or both. It could be both. It's hard to say. But I appreciate everyone in the chat keeping an eye out for the riffraff like this. Lots of riffraff out there on the internet. We gotta keep them out of here. All right, everyone. That was fun. Hope you have a good weekend. I'm hurtling towards the end stream button as we speak. Keep it friendly.
Quite a long song.
I know. I probably stopped talking too early. Is this song longer? Can't tell. Bye, y'all.